Welcome back. In this video, we are going to introduce pagination. This will allow us to organize our blog posts in two ways. First of all, we can break up really long posts into smaller, more manageable pages, which then have page numbers at the bottom, which we can click on to skip between them. Second of all, when we're on the single post view, we can then add a link at the bottom of the post to skip forward and backward to the next or previous post. Let's begin with adding a pager when we have a really long blog post. This is a really simple thing to do. We need to go over to the edit post. So go into any blog post and then click on edit. We're then taken to the edit section of the dashboard. And here we see we have a paragraph of text. If we then click on the plus symbol up at the top, we can insert a new block for our post. I'm going to do a search for page break. Then click on the page break just here. And then we can continue on with our content. I'm just going to copy this paragraph and then add a new block, which is going to be a paragraph of text. Paste this in. And let's do one more. Just below this, we can add a new block. So add a new page break. Copy some more text. Click on the plus symbol to get a new paragraph. Paste this in. Click on update to save our changes and then view our post. So we immediately see our first paragraph of text, and this is up to our first page break. But we don't see any page numbers at the bottom to skip through to the next page of the content. For this, we need to tell WordPress where we want these links to appear in our theme. We want these to appear in the single.php file, and we're going to use a function called WP link pages, which I'm going to add just below the content. So look for the content function underneath here. Open up the PHP. Then inside, use the WP link pages function. Brackets just afterwards and a semicolon. If we now save this and refresh. So good, we now see the page numbers down at the bottom, which are links. But for our current page, the CSS is a little messed up. Before we fix this, let's just check the rest of the pages are working. We can click on page 2, which also shows the current page in the URL. Then we need to look for our span, which is just here. Rather than this, we can call this the price with a dot since this is a class. Close these files down. Reload. So these are still working okay. Let's check out our blog. Click on any of these individual blogs. And good, our 3 pages are now down at the bottom. Next, we can add a link down at the bottom here, which is going to be a link to the previous or the next blog post. Back over to the single.php. We have some links down at the bottom, which we copied over from our index.php. These links, if we go over to our blog, these links will cycle through our previous and our next page of blog posts. We want to do a similar thing for our pages. All we need to do is to rename this function to be post rather than have the S on the end. So do that for the previous and next. Hit save. And then go into any one of our blog posts. And there's our 2 links. So we're on blog post 1. So the previous one will be our hello world. We can then skip forward to blog post 1, number 2, number 3, and this all works fine. So this is how we can use pagination in WordPress. And next we'll continue with this single post view by looking at how we can enable comments.